Vaccine to protect frontline workers first. More professionals needed in PNG's workforce. And Sports Foundation stress on COVID protocols.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Seah.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for Saturday's news. PNG's only largest referral health facility, Portmore General Hospital, is in dire state and needs immediate backing. The number of COVID-19 cases, especially in the nation's capital, has risen exponentially and is posing a lot of challenges for the hospital. Portmore General Hospital has come out in a statement to address the death of an asthmatic patient who died allegedly trying to access an oxygen canister yesterday at the emergency department.
Yesterday morning, a picture of an asthmatic patient who died while trying to access the oxygen canister set up for asthmatic patients went viral on Facebook, causing an uproar on social media on how Port Moresby General Hospital was coping with the number of COVID-19 cases that continue to surge. In light of the recent post, the hospital in a statement has confirmed that the patient is an asthmatic patient who unfortunately succumbed while receiving treatment. She was one of the hospital's retired staff who frequented the emergency department to access the nebulizer to relieve her asthmatic symptoms. The statement from the hospital explains that there are strict measures that have to be implemented at PMGH in order to prevent transmission of COVID-19 to staff and fellow patients whilst taking care of COVID-19 patients, one of which include the reduction of aerosol generating procedures such as nebulization of medication for asthmatic patients. The statement went on to explain that in a confined space like the emergency department triage, this would have posed a greater risk to staff and other patients. Hence, to protect both staff and fellow patients, the nebulization for asthmatics was temporarily brought to an open air given the sudden increase in patient numbers, both COVID and non-COVID. The statement goes on that usually nurses prepare the medication and the patient holds the nebulizer. Given the fact that this was a regular patient, a retired health worker, and knows the process of nebulization, management is investigating what actually happened leading to her death. As it is, the hospital management is urging the general public to see the post on Facebook as a true indication of the real situation at PMGH, a much more overstressed and limited health workforce. This is only the tip of the iceberg of daily challenges PMGH has to manage every day. Others include logistical, bed space, and most of all, shortage of manpower, as many hospital staff that has been infected is now in isolation. 120 of them are from the emergency department. Port Moresby General Hospital is currently in a situation where more patients, both COVID and non-COVID, are presenting to be attended to by a limited and overstressed staff. The best the public can do to prevent PMGH and the entire PNG health system from collapsing is to reduce the transmission of COVID-19 by wearing a mask, avoiding public gatherings, and regular sanitizing of hands. Annette Cora, National EMTV News.
While the National Executive Council has gazetted the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine, frontline workers hope to get the first jab. National Pandemic Controller David Manning says though it is not mandatory, protecting health workers is crucial. Manning says not just health workers are at risk, but other frontline workers such as security forces, among others. Here is part of his brief at the National Control Centre in Port Moresby.
Let me assure all frontline workers that this vaccination was not compulsory. I would advise, again, through the NCC, that if you are a frontline worker and every day you're being exposed to those who may be affected by the COVID-19 virus, it would be advisable for you to take it. Again, as I said, it's not compulsory or mandatory to take the vaccine, but it is a requirement that we protect or take every steps to protect our people in this very challenging times.
PNG Red Cross Society has responded to the call by Portmore General Hospital to assist with personal protective equipment. Yesterday, Red Cross donated PPEs such as masks, goggles, hand sanitizers and thermometer guns. According to Red Cross, more supplies are coming and will also assist other health facilities in the country as the spike in COVID-19 cases continue to rise.
With COVID-19 cases surging, the country's referral hospital is hit hard with most of its staff testing positive. This has seen a gradual scale down of services by the hospital. Recently, the hospital CEO appealed for more PPEs to safeguard its frontline workers. Red Cross has responded swiftly.
We are happy to be part of this process and extending our donation of PPEs to Port Moresby General Hospital. We are willing and we'll be glad to extend more of help, whatever possible, based on needs and requests by CEO. We are going to be there with you and with people of Papua New Guinea.
The PPEs include masks and sanitizers, gloves, thermometer guns and other medical equipment. The PPEs were ordered overseas through its establishment. The PPEs will assist alleviate the shortage of PPEs faced by Port Moresby General Hospital.
With the alarming increase of COVID-19, it will help Port Moresby General Hospital in terms of PPE, and I'm sure the staff of the hospital will appreciate this because it will help them to provide safety for themselves and the patient as a whole.
According to Red Cross, more PPEs will be ordered. This will help POMGEN and other health facilities around the country if requested. Red Cross stands firm to support health authorities during the pandemic.
And we will also extend our support to other health facilities within the country as soon as we receive the request from CEO seeking more support. And International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies is ready to support PNG Red Cross to reach out to the vulnerable.
Esther Thailam, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll have more of the day's stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Minister for Dehurst, Wesley Raminai, says PNG still needs more educated Papua New Guineans to fulfill Sir Michael Somaro's dreams and aspirations for this country. He says educated professionals with degrees and diplomas in sectors are needed to carry the nation forward. The minister made these remarks during Divinewood University's 39th graduation ceremony yesterday.
To see more educated Papua New Guineans.
Raminai told the 781 students the graduation signifies their commitment and determination to go out into the world and do greatness for PNG as enshrined in Vision 2050.
That passion that you have to do greater things in your life shall from that charisma and the institution to reshape and define PNG in the next 4 years.
The Department of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology is undertaking institutional reforms so that there is clarity in the visions and goals of various higher education institutions in the country.
Your government, the Marawi Basit government, is pushing for quality education. And recently we have started with the standard-based education at the lower school levels. We view speaking and writing quality education is the foundation for transforming our developing country.
The minister further states there are more graduates without formal employment due to the limited job opportunities. Wesley Raminai encouraged the students to believe in themselves.
The great occasion today culminates the reasons as to why learning institutions are established. Our goal is to produce graduates like you to champion the cause for gender equality, competitive intelligence at the global stage, game changers in the professional organizations, and above all, catalysts for development in your communities. Our country is going through development challenges, We have highest number of graduates with their jobs, and some have given up hope on engaging in self-sustaining income activities.
This year, Divine Word University graduated 14 pioneer students from the Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery as doctors.
It's unique in that we have the first graduates from our MBBS program, Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery. And we hope that these pioneer graduates will be the first of many graduating as doctors from this university.
President Father Gibbs believes Divine Word University plays an important role in promoting nation building. The president requested the minister to support the university financially in maintaining the service Divine Word University provides to PNG.
Not only with moral support, but with the financial support that we need to maintain the service that we're providing to Papua New Guinea. We can't survive only on school fees. We need the real partnership with our government.
Martha Lewis, National EMTV News, Madang.
Students around the country have been urged to isolate during the 4-week suspension of classes. Education Minister Jimmy Uguro says parents must ensure students complete their extra schoolwork during this time. Minister Uguro says schools and students are vulnerable and the department has taken preventive measures to temporarily suspend classes.
Come Monday, the 22nd, the 4-week isolation for schools around the country will commence. The Education Minister says this is to safeguard school grounds, staff and students. He says this is a preventive measure against the spike in community transmission.
We got no choice, but we've been directed by COVID-19. It is faced throughout the world. There's no exception for Papua New Guinea and our schools, so we need to abide by this law.
Minister Uguro says it's not just for students and staff to isolate, but to ensure lesson planning and academic work is done at home. He says if students do not adhere to this, it may cause more problems for the academic year. The Education Minister urged students to stay home to be safe.
They're not walking around the streets. They must be at home with their parents in isolation. We have to prevent our students. We got a high potential in schools. If the COVID hits various parts of schools, we will have trouble. Seeing that we have no facilities yet to address this, we need to take precautions, and we start from the school setting.
With the government's isolation plan to begin on Monday, Pandemic Controller David Manning appealed for citizens to ensure that 12 new measures are followed. He says authorities are stretched and priority is to save lives.
This isolation period that we're about to embark on, starting on Monday the 22nd, is very much needed to allow us to get at the front end of dealing with the surges that we're experiencing. We expect over the next week or so during the isolation period for arrivals of much needed international assistance. Of course, the vaccines being part of that.
Gertrude Gabi, National EMTV News.
One of the difficulties faced by schools in rural settings is school resources. This is because of schools' remoteness and geography that prevents accessibility. Baktu Primary School in Oktapmin LLG of Telefomin District of West Sepik is one of such disadvantaged schools. The school receives its supplies by means of small plane from Kyunga. Headmaster of the school, Mr. Don Will, was successful to get support from AusAid through Book Blong Pikinini for library books. The books arrived late last year, but no library for storage. The school is now looking forward to source funds to build a library. A mother of four who ventured into layer poultry egg production business in 2016 now owns a trade store and has just bought a new piece of land to extend her business. Terry Uriningi resigned from work in 2019 to care for her ill husband. She began her small businesses after attending a personal viability training 10 years ago. She now owns over 100 layers, a trade store and accommodations for rent and lay.
Terry Uriningi resides in Lay at the Kamkumu Kona area. She's a mother of four who's currently operating 3 small businesses, including this layer poultry egg production business. In 2016, Terry bought a box of layers that consist of 52-day-old chicken. She began breeding them in this shelter using a cage system.
Me looking side lo money too, me alright. So maybe decide look sim narpa tupla box can. So now me savelo sem how ba me look out him also tupla box mix him now me yoklo me look out him. So now I'm total number of kakaruk megad lobanis am 131.
Layer poultry are special species of hens. They start laying eggs at 18 to 19 weeks old and continues till they are 72 to 78 weeks of age. Each hen produces an egg daily.
Me post on Facebook, na me put him notice outside. All man Mary just come, especially all market mama. All just come, all come lo buy him cotton, but supply blow me am low. Me sa collect him 100 eggs a day, so me had lo supply him all.
The mother of four was employed as an admin officer for 18 years. She resigned in 2019 to care for her ill husband. Terry began venturing into small businesses after attending a personal viability training in Port Moresby 10 years ago. She then wrote down her visions on a book and worked towards them.
We have to set goals. Long you may like him, but you may sit down also morning, you may must set goals. And that goal must be in paper. You know can ting him that's all, because the time you ting him, you know not make him come up. So you put him lo paper. Nah, every time you look long, I'm just by driving you long. You must make him all something lo achieve him this goal blue.
Terry said she collects around 170 eggs daily. She sells each egg for 70 toya, regardless of their sizes. So in a day, she earns over 700 kina.
Currently, me no a weighing machine, so weighing all eggs, so that by me put it different prices. Or some so me just put him over the big plus thread, over go 70 toya that's all.
This has helped her set a trade store, pay for her children's school fee, and has assisted her to purchase a new block of land, which she plans to extend her business. Her only problem now is to find proper water pipes for a layer poultry egg production business.
Pipes long. Connecting from main tape, na kam na all fittings belong am disla me need him all straight. Me no ga disla now. Now me manually feed him give water along all.
Julie Badui, Owa, National EMTV News, Lay.
Trukai Sports is next. All the details after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. In a statement released by the PNG Sports Foundation, organizations who wish to use their facilities must adhere to their protocols with the ultimate approval for any gatherings to take place given by the Office of the Controller. The PNGSF and its Pandemic Management Committee have set out guidelines to combat the surge in COVID-19 cases in Port Moresby.
The Pandemic Management Committee of the PNG Sports Foundation will be writing to the Office of the Controller to seek exemptions for gatherings in numbers for sports and events that utilize the PNGSF venues in a controlled environment. The following sports federations have submitted their COVID-19 protocols and have been approved by the PNGSF for training and competition. They include AFL, archery, athletics, badminton, basketball, bowls, cricket, football, golf, gymnastics, hockey, NCD Darts Association, netball, PNG American football, POM softball, powerlifting, pro boxing and OFP, rugby league, rugby union, swimming, table tennis, touch football, triathlon, volleyball, and weightlifting. No other affiliated sports, apart from those listed, should run competitions or training programs unless they have approval from the PNG SF. Any federation who has not yet sought approval and is running competitions will be reported to the controller. Federations must make sure their associations conform to the submitted COVID-19 safe protocols and adhere to the current pandemic measures and the Nupela passing guidelines. Non-compliance will be reported to the controller and competitions will be immediately shut down. The PNG SF reminds federations that if a province, city or town has been locked down by local authorities, then associations within the constituency are required to abide by that policy. Sporting federations and associations should contact the PNG SF or the PMC for more information. Huxley Lovai, Chukai Sports.
The Women's National Soccer League finals have been suspended indefinitely. The PNG Football Association made the decision in line with the latest directives from the Office of the Controller in response to the recent increase of COVID cases in Port Moresby.
The PNG Football Association and the Women's National Soccer League Standing Committee have suspended the 2020-2021 WNSL finals indefinitely. PNG FA Competition Director Paul Isarua has informed the 4 clubs involved in the finals, namely Poro FC, Sipik FC, NCD Akari United and FC Genesis, of the indefinite suspension. In line with the new measures issued by the National Pandemic Controller David Manning recently, banning all sporting gatherings and events involving more than 50 persons. PNG FA prioritizes the health and safety of its players, officials and spectators, and have made the decision to immediately suspend all prior approvals to its affiliates to run soccer games and gatherings. Isarua said the decision was made in compliance with the Pandemic Act Control Measures No. 9 relating to businesses and social gatherings, Point 2 and Point 7. Point 2 calls for the immediate ban in place on gatherings over 50 people, while Point 7 stated that no recreational or professional sporting matches will be allowed any spectators. PNG FA stated that all affiliates are advised to immediately suspend all games, training and other gatherings until further notice. Huxley Lovai, Chukai Sports.
And that story wraps up Chukai Sports, the weather report for the next 24 hours after these messages. Stay tuned.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
I'll look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region. Cloudy periods with some rain showers in Port Moresby, Kerema and Popondetta. Cloudy with a shower or two in Daru and mostly fine weather in Alotau. In the Momasa region, cloudy periods with a shower or two in Ley, some showers in Wau, brief showers in Medang, few showers expected in Wewak and mostly fine weather in Funimore. In the New Guinea Islands region, fine weather in Lorengau and Kimbe, cloudy with a few showers in Kavieng and Buka, and cloudy weather in Kokopo and Rabaul. And in the Highlands region, showers and morning fog right across the region in Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kondiawa, Mendi and Wabeg.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's been the news, sport and weather for Saturday, 20th of March 2021. On behalf of the news team, pleasant viewing, be safe and bye for now.